you go into long-term investing, it's like a DCA. I think not everyone, but most people are familiar with like dollar cost averaging into a stock or into an investment where it's like, hey, you know what? Like SpaceX just IPO'd. I personally, not financial advice, will be DCAing into SpaceX. But there's times where, that's the big difference, right? Like if you have a long-term plan with your investments, you're not pulling out and getting scared just because a stock goes down. Digital marketing has created an illusion of control over the customer funnel. Like Coca-Cola was everywhere forever. Beers, Budweiser, Bud Light, like why are they advertised? Everyone knows who they are. Why are they always advertising on sports? Ultimately, that's what advertising is. It's supposed to build a consistent and predictable flow of revenue in your business over time.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unstoppable Marketer Podcast. With me, as always, is Mark Goldhart, who is on his phone, as always. Mark, what's up?
What's up?
Who is my co-host, by the way? This is your first time.
Just
the co-host of the Unstoppable
checking
Marketer.
in on the World Cup.
It's World Cup season.
Yep.
The United States
Vamos Argentina.
Played well. Argentina played well.
Played great.
Yeah.
And I will root for the States if we ever play Argentina, but I just don't think we will.
What's going on? Summer?
Babies.
Swinging things? You have a new baby?
I have a new baby.
Client work?
Thick into the newborn phase. Yeah, client work, camping, fishing.
Tis the season?
Tis the season.
Nice.
Take my kids camping a lot.
Yeah, you have been, like on the weekends.
Got to get them out of the house, you know?
I've done nothing.
It's my gift to my wife.
Yeah.
Get all my kids out of the house so she can spend time with the newborn.
That's very sweet and selfish of you at the same time, huh? It's like a sweet, selfish thing.
It's a win-win is what it is.
There you go. That's better.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
She wants me to do it.
You're doing something for her.
And
but you
I
also
get to go
do
camping.
You want to do. Yeah.
That's
That
great.
is what they call a win-win.
Sweet. Well,
let's get into it. So
let's get into it.
Quick client win, right? When I asked Mark, I'm like, what's the client win we want to talk about?
Should we get sound effects?
One of the thing he just said was like, he just said staying the course. Like that was it. And I think staying the course is going to go in easily to our topic today. But I think one client when I have is we have a client right now who is, they were a smaller revenue client, but committed to, like really understanding what their profitability numbers were. So for every $1 they spent, how much money were they making, not just in revenue, but profitability? And how much money did they need to make in order to win? And so it didn't matter how, like, what their ROAS might look like. Everything mattered to what their return on contribution margin dollar was. And so they have been increasing their ad spend by like 15% every week for the last, I don't know, 3 months.
Yeah.
And yes, efficiency continues to get smaller and smaller.
Well, yeah.
But profitability
is rising. Dollars are accumulating.
Yeah. Profit margins have decreased, but profit margin dollar has continued to increase. And it's been a really cool thing to watch them not balk at a 3-day lull or a 7-day lull, here and there. But they are trusting the process and understanding, like, if they just stay the course, this is the red line. As long as they stay the course, even though it might get really close to it, if they just keep going. And that's been cool. You don't see a lot of that. Like a lot of people, it's almost like, Mark dabbles in day trading. Tell the audience, like, what makes or breaks, from what you told me, the day trader?
Emotions.
Explain it.
This is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice across the...
This is not financial advice. If you ask me what the difference is between day trading and going to a casino, I don't really know. So just, it might be just gambling. I don't know. But if you're successful at it and if you're good at it and you can be profitable at it, it usually means you have a plan, you stick to the plan, and you simply don't let your losers become too big, and you let your winners win. But you actually have to take the winners. But
Yeah.
it really comes down to not being emotional, because if you're emotional about the plan, and then you jump in too early, you leave too late. But I think it's just investing. Like if you go into long-term investing, it's like a DCA. I think not everyone, but most people are familiar with like dollar cost averaging into a stock or into an investment, where it's like, hey, you know what? Like SpaceX just IPO'd. I personally, not financial advice, will be DCAing into SpaceX over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
It'll go up and down during that time, but overall, when you DCA, you go up.
Right.
But there's times where,
Yeah.
Now that's the big difference, right? Like if you have a long-term plan with your investments, you're not pulling out and getting scared just because a stock goes down. Now there's other indicators that people use, but like if you're just dollar cost averaging into the NASDAQ or into, the S&P over time, like the data is there, the history is there. The same thing with advertising. I think people pull out of advertising the second the stock goes down.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that there's like actually intrinsic evidence that the advertising effort wasn't working
Or is no longer working.
or is no longer. And that's
Yeah.
always the delicate balance with advertising is digital marketing has created an illusion of control over the customer funnel. And that's my hot take.
You want to explain what you mean by that?
No, but I will. Because we have attribution, everyone thinks that you can meticulously plan and measure every step of a customer's journey, and it's just not true.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that measuring, to the North Beams and the triple L's of the world. We like people at both places, and we really like a lot of the people and know the people at the North Beam office. There's still a lot of value in measuring attribution. You can find value in it, but sometimes it creates this illusion like, well, okay, I need this X ROI on this ad or it gets turned off.
Yeah.
When the platforms don't even work that way, right? So like Meta is already with Andromeda and their updates. It's going to determine a winner within 2 or 3 days, and it's going to scale the ad that is the most scalable. Not necessarily that's going to produce you the most ROI in that given moment, but it's going to give you the most halo effect over time.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it difficult is like you have to measure things, but too often people are cutting off their top funnel winners. And we can get into a debate around like, does it really exist top funnel bot? Like, sure, maybe it.
Explain what you mean by a top funnel winner.
Top funnel winner in Meta is often going to be something that drives really great engagements, qualified traffic, but maybe not buying.
So like reach?
Like cost per reach might be there, but just generally speaking, like if it's a video, for example, you're going to have good video metrics. So hook rates, through plays, you can measure through plays, or you can measure completion rates, whatever you want to do. There's other ways of doing it. But ultimately, the good, like the leading indicator is that Meta wants to spend money on it.
Right.
Because if Meta is spending money on it, then you know that it's working within the algorithm and it's getting good engagement, and Meta wants to spend money because it's not ruining the experience of people in the platform.
Right.
And sometimes it's wrong. Like I'm not saying just let Meta do whatever it wants all the time.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is sometimes people look at that and in 2 days they're like, oh, this ad isn't working. But if you leave it on for 7 days or even 14 days, the ad set or the campaign or that audience, like you'll actually see an uplift.
Yeah.
So this illusion of, oh, I need to go in and granularly select or deselect every little option just creates extra work, added friction, and fear because you constantly, it's like investing again, to liken it unto investing. You don't control the company that you're investing in.
Yeah.
We don't control everything that's happening in the world, right? As advertisers, we like to think we do, but we don't. We don't control seasonality. We don't control international affairs. We don't control the purchasing power of the dollar. We don't control people's emotion. We can influence people's emotions, but we don't control every variable out there. So why make a decision like off of a false positive or a false negative within a certain time frame?
Yeah.
When you probably don't have all the data. So you have to start measuring things in terms of incrementality and halo effects. And again, all those tools can help with that. Like we're definitely not against that. But even within those tools, don't have the illusion. And by the way, the tools don't claim to have all the answers. If you go in and you look at their attribution settings, it's like, hey, look at this. It's supposed to give you a frame of reference and mind within certain contexts.
Yeah.
So don't get fooled. Like they're not lying either.
Right.
It's, hey, here's last click. Here's full. Here's, evenly attributed. Here's our machine learning model.
Yeah.
Here's our marketing mix model, whatever.
Yeah.
But don't pretend like you control everything about a customer's journey.
Right.
You just don't.
Right. Yeah, I think the reason why we're interested in this topic, Mark's kind of talked a little bit about top of funnel stuff and bottom of the funnel, like that's where this conversation is leading. I think one thing that we see a lot as advertisers is we see a lot of brands putting tons of money into campaigns, ad sets, ads that are driving results, like immediate results.
They are driving reported ROAS.
Which is
results, yes.
Which is important. We're not saying that that's not important, but the problem with that,
incremental.
It's not incremental and it's not sustainable. No. Meaning, if you do that, you are always going to be fighting for it's almost like a race to the bottom at that point, right? If you are a brand who recognizes that your CAC is going up every year, your ROAS is going down every year, and business is harder and harder, it probably means that you're fishing out of the bottom of the barrel.
And
constantly.
And the more you continue to do that, the worse it's going to get.
Because the less and less people are in there.
Yeah.
Right? And the more everyone else is also trying to buy from those people, because nowadays, those people, the people at the bottom of the funnel, the people who are just buying in specific categories, like we're not only competing with our competitors anymore, we're competing with every other brand that's trying to market to the same person who's this, the 35-year-old mom who is the decision maker for the household, for example. Right? So it's not just your competitors who are, fighting for her, it's everyone else. So when you are not manufacturing and filling and finding more of those new people who might not be ready to buy, every year things are going to get harder and harder for you. Yes?
Yes, it is.
So I think that's the conversation we want to have today. But, what do brands need to do? The question is, if you are a brand whose CAC has risen every year, whose ROAS has increased every year, decreased every year, what are some things brands can start doing today to get out of that hole?
Well, number one, I know this might be a little strange, but it is understanding what the central limit theorem is in statistics, which is when you have enough of something, it eventually reaches a normal distribution.
Okay.
So like heights, weights, anything really around people, eventually you reach a normal distribution. So when you're measuring ads or when you're putting stuff into ads, over time, you will reach a normal distribution in your performance and in the performance of your ads. You're going to have outliers, right? You're going to have outliers on both sides, performers and bad performers.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a lot of stuff that kind of like sits there in the average, but
which is the normal,
which is kind of the normal.
Yeah.
But when you're thinking about placing your ad dollars into something, you need to skew over into top funnel the bigger you get. And the reason why is because, like, we talk about organic. And yes, organic distribution matters and you should always be striving for it. But it's just not realistic to expect your organic distribution to. And by organic, we mean not word of mouth. Like there's other organic distribution out there, like when you're big enough, like the flywheel effect with just word of mouth and people seeing you everywhere. We're talking mostly like, hey, you did this effort, this campaign, whatever, and you want this many results back from it.
Yes.
It just doesn't, it's almost impossible to expect that to outweigh what the paid is going to do, because that's ultimately it's a paid world.
And that's what I was gonna say. The reason for it, let me just cut you off, is because we are just in a paid world, right? So it's like, yes, there are those outliers of people who are getting organic distribution and who are doing it. It's just so much fewer and farther between, and we're never going to be the people who are ever going to tell you to not focus on those things. But at the end of the day, 99% of the brands aren't ever going to be able to accomplish that the way the 1% is, right? Because Meta and TikTok is a paid world now.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by BFF Creative. BFF Creative is a software that meets services. Any marketing collateral you need, whether that's ads, emails, print designs, or social media, all you have to do is submit a request and one of BFF Creative's qualified designers will create a design for you and it'll be completed in 2 to 3 days. BFF Creative allows you to submit as many requests and as many revisions as you can with just one monthly fee. And the best part is that it's month to month. No contracts, no hidden fees, no nothing. And if you use promo code UNSTOPPABLE30, you'll get 30% off for your first month on us. Just go to bffcreative.co, pick your plan, and sign up today.
And so now we're going back to like frequencies and how do you measure? Well, what we like to do is the bigger your budget is, you're starting to play the game of you just want to always be there in a cost-effective way, but you're trying to be there as often as possible, especially if you have a very large TAM. So again, going back to the giants like Coca-Cola. Like Coca-Cola was everywhere forever.
Yeah.
The beers, Budweiser, Bud Light, like why are they advertised? Everyone knows who they are.
Right.
Why are they always advertising on sports programs?
Yeah, just because they're top of mind. Why would you drink anything else but Coke?
Like or Michelob Ultra, whatever. Like you see a beer commercial in every sporting event.
Yeah. In movies,
everything, right? You see Coca-Cola everywhere. You see Pepsi.
What these brands are trying to do that are at that level, right? The $1 billion level, is they're just trying to make it look like every scenario, if there is a place for a beer to be there or a place for a soda to be there, you don't ever picture anything but
they want you to
Coke.
see it and then remember it as you're walking by. Now these are consumables, so like again, you can see that, you can go to the store and get it right away. It's a little different than maybe some of the product categories that our listeners sit in, or some of our listeners. But still, you want to be the brand that they recognize as, oh, that's the brand,
right? Because
the more they see you, the more they associate with you with truth. We've talked about this concept. If you read Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, and ultimately that's what advertising is. It's supposed to build a consistent and predictable flow of revenue in your business over time. But again, you're going to have ups and downs in that flow. But like, how do you measure it appropriately to push things up over time and consistently in a predictable way?
Yeah.
And the more you nitpick and the more you're turning things on and off at a granular level, the more false flags, right, that you're going to introduce, that could make things even worse.
Totally.
And that is the hardest part, in my opinion, about digital marketing right now is you can't wait too long where losers are just losing money,
Totally.
but you can't act too fast.
Yeah.
You have to wait for the right moments and the right indicators, and then you have to make your plan of action. But you can't just be in there turning things on and off all the time because you're probably not going to have a consistent effort.
Yeah. Well, and every change you make also can shake up a lot of stuff too, right? It's not just that.
Yeah, because you're dealing with algorithms.
Yeah, it's not just chasing a false positive or double downing on, oh my gosh, this is working so good today, let's triple spend. Like, it's not just, there's just more that goes into it when you do that kind of stuff.
We're obviously simplifying this all down.
Totally.
There's more nuances and things can be a lot more difficult. But ultimately, people are so consumed with ROAS and hitting BOFU, bottom of the funnel, and mid funnel, when you need to be getting people introduced to your brand.
Yeah.
And then reminding them about your brand.
Yeah, you need to have budget going to things that aren't bringing you money today.
You have to.
Right? But they might be bringing you money 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
Or in theory, the lower stuff starts to get more efficient 2 weeks from now.
And again, this always goes back to measuring, because some people will take this and be like, oh, let's go spend money on video view campaigns or traffic campaigns or whatever. And sometimes that works. But you have to have, how are you going to measure the impact of this effort? And if you can't measure it, is it worth doing?
Yeah.
You have to know how to measure these things, because sometimes you're just shooting in the dark and you're like, oh, let's try this little campaign, but it's like, doesn't even indicate a blip on the radar.
Yeah.
You can't measure it at all. It's like, I don't know, maybe it drove something.
Sure.
So how are you measuring these efforts? So if you're doing top funnel campaigns, you can do top funnel with the sales objective. You can do it with video engagement. You can do it with different engagement options.
Yeah.
But how are you measuring the downwind effect of these efforts?
Yeah. Any recommendations, thoughts you have for people?
Well, are you measuring it through brand search? Are people searching your brand more often? Are they coming through direct? Are you measuring it through email signups and email flows? Are you measuring it through sales impact over time?
Are you measuring it through efficiency efforts getting better?
Are you seeing efficiency increase over 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Are you...
Because again, you don't want to be like, oh, I'm running tofu, it's going to pan out in 4 months.
Like,
yeah, like...
I guess
we're not saying that.
I guess it depends on the business, but
it depends on how much you're investing in the frequency across that time frame.
Yeah,
and the BOFU side. But a lot of companies sit in the 7 to 14 day window.
Yeah,
which is why, by the way, the meta algorithm is always going to push down into the BOFU side,
right? Because they need to show their quick winners.
Yep, we've talked about this. This is called a meta optimized market.
Yeah.
So we talk about TAMs, right? But meta within their targeting audience, it's reducing it all the way down to the people they have identified who are ready to purchase within their optimization windows.
Yeah. So what Mark is saying is like, if you are, let's take Poppy versus Olipop.
Yeah.
Right? If Poppy, right, they both have the same TAM.
Yeah.
Theoretically. Yes?
Theoretically, yeah.
But let's say Poppy comes out.
It's anyone who wants to sell.
Yeah. Let's say Poppy comes out and says, we can only afford to have a 3 ROAS because the people said so.
Yeah.
And then Olipop comes out and says, well, we can have a 1.5. What happens is you go from TAM, and Poppy's meta optimized market takes the TAM and says, well, at a 3, we can only get this many people. Whereas Olipop says, well, at a 1.5,
we can get
double that.
And then guess what? All of those people are within the sales signals.
Yes, the people who are ready to buy.
You're not reaching, for example, let's just, for argument's sake, just say 100 million. There's 100 million people on the meta platforms actively.
Yeah.
Let's just say that for easy math.
Yeah.
If your TAM is 80 million people, you're not reaching all 80 million.
No.
Even if it says you reached 80 million last year, no, you didn't, because you had frequency. You might have reached some of those people the year before. You're not reaching everybody.
Yeah.
There's some brands might be, depending on their objectives, but most people aren't, because most people are narrowing it down to sales objectives.
Yeah. who's going to buy the quickest.
We've talked with this with Alex MacArthur,
Mhm.
the former CMO over at Purple.
Mhm.
He is we probably should have him on the podcast again, he's a big proponent of this, is like you have to build moments that resonate over time.
Yeah.
And if you get too caught up, then it's a slow death march
Sure.
for your brand.
Yeah, it might look really good for a year. And then the next year, all of a sudden,
nobody.
you have nobody. And the people who you were feeling like you are better than are bigger than you.
Yes.
That Curtis, what's the Portland Leather? What's his last name? He was on the podcast.
Cut this out.
Curtis with an M. Anyways, he was on the podcast and he talked about this too. He's like, when I was in my early days of Portland Leather, I looked up to
Curtis Matsko.
Yeah, he's like, I looked up to 5 brands and they were so much bigger and better than me. And they stopped growing. They stopped scaling and trying to stretch for new numbers. And within like 5 to 10 years, all of them came to him, hey, come buy us. Because he focused on growth and just touching and reaching new people, whereas they've just focused in this spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, some of them are still around, but nobody's, and some of them are not around. He's like, I would have never thought 10 years ago that I would be bigger than them and that they would just be what they were, because eventually they just get in this circular bottom feeder world of, okay, cool. There's one person that just fell down here. Let's hurry and nab him up.
I'm just convinced a lot of it's just mindset at this point.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought up that.
Like almost all is just mindset of like how.
That's why I brought up your day trading. Like that's been the best thing, like the best analogy. It's like if you can just stick to it and you play the statistics of it. Like I know people do the same thing. Listen, I'm not. You likened it unto gambling. I have never been successful playing blackjack until my friend taught me. He said, every time you win, if you can increase your next bet by 10 to 15%, and you just play that game and you play the numbers, he's like, you may not come out making tons of money. He's like, but you'll be able to play blackjack for 4 hours and not lose and just pretty much break even.
Yeah.
Break even at a minimum and there's been times where I'm acting like I don't play blackjack a lot, but when I have, ever since I've done that method of just like, I have a mindset of, I know what the rules are. I'm never double downing at XYZ. I'm never hitting when the dealer's holding a 6, like those things. And I'm always increasing that 10 to 15%. Because then eventually you start winning really, really big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you can also do that in day trading. But in day trading, and the same thing with blackjack, you're just talking about probabilities.
Yeah.
So if you understand probabilities and what your probability is with each setup,
yeah,
and you trust the normal distribution of those probabilities over time. So like if you have an 80% chance, just because you lose
doesn't mean it wasn't still
even if you lose
80%,
twice.
like, yeah.
Or 3 times in a row, like it's still an 80% setup.
Right.
So, and if you can do that over time, the averages work out for you.
Totally. And obviously the paid ads game is much more probable and statistic.
Well, there's so many more. Yeah, there's
than this. This is gambling, right? Versus
it's just we want people to understand the mindset of it. Is people get too caught up in the emotional whiplash, and we get it. It is emotional. This is money. This is your livelihood.
If you have investors, like sometimes they want it. Sometimes the founders need to see certain numbers.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
But man, the brands that we see that are just humming along are just sticking to plans.
And they have short-term memories.
And they understand what a loser is, but they're not so quick about it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if things aren't going well, they stick to a plan for a month.
Totally.
It's like, things don't look great right now. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I literally just right before this podcast, I got off a phone with somebody who we increased their budgets massively and saw a hit in conversion rate this week, But there are certain things that make it look like, no, this was actually a good move. This is just a blip.
Let's let it play out.
And it was, it's music to my ears, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Like, we don't need to decrease. Like, yes, we know that the last 4 days sucked. That's lost money. Most people would say the decision we made was wrong.
But the leading KPIs are telling us.
But the lead metrics are saying, no, things are fine. The cost per clicks are looking really, really healthy. Your through plays are looking really healthy. Your bounce rate is looking really healthy. Your average session duration is looking very, very healthy. For whatever reason, conversion rate's just a little bit lower right now.
You're just driving, like the newer the audience, the less your conversion rate will be.
Yeah.
And it can balance out over time, but like if you haven't been pushing new, heavy into new and tofu, you're not going to see, it's going to be a little bit of a shock.
Yeah. So,
but again, know what your KPIs are. What are your lead? What are your lags?
Yep.
What are you measuring? And then when do you pull the plug?
Totally. Yeah.
We call that a stop loss. You have to be willing to let something lose a little bit.
Totally.
Before pulling the plug.
Yeah. Failures are winners too.
Sometimes.
Yeah. All right.
Beggars can't be choosers or something,
I've heard that before. All right. Thank you guys. I don't have anything else. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later. Thank you for listening to the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. If there's a brand, campaign, strategy, or marketing tactic that you want us to review, please DM me at the Trevor Crump on Instagram or TikTok, or at the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. And of course, if you got value from this episode, or if you like it whatsoever, please make sure you're subscribing, you're liking, you're following, and for sure, go leave us a review to let us know that we're doing a good job. We will see you guys next time.
Utah, what a great place to be. We've got birds in the air.